Saxon Math 7-6, Lesson 1-1-12. I'm going to teach this one a little bit differently than John did. John does. And I'm going to do example 2 first because example 2 has a story. I'm going to read you the story first, and then I'm going to walk you through how we can set this up and solve it. I'm also getting you ready for next year because we're going to be doing this kind of problem a lot next year. Jamal is our friend in this question. He correctly answered 80% of the 25 questions. How many questions did he answer correctly? What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a picture. And we're going to use this picture to apply to a lot of these questions. Okay, these are all the questions on the test. There's 25, I'm not going to put that there. Questions on the test. On test. There are 25 of them in all, and that represents 100% of the test, right? That's everything that was on the test. Now, he went through, he marked his answers, his teacher corrected it, and he got it back. He found out that he got a lot of them right. He got 80% right. Which means, assuming the simplest scenario, he must have gotten 20% wrong, right? We can deduce that. But we want to know how many questions did he get right? Not what percentage of the total, but how many questions he got right. There is a cool little formula. But I have to add one more. This sounds kind of confusing, but when you see enough problems, you'll realize it makes sense. This group is called the of group. It's the total group. And this group is called the is group. It's the special group. When word problems are written out, these words often show up with the corresponding numbers in the sentence. So these words signal to us which number goes where. The of word represents the total. He got 80% of the 25 questions. And is tells us more about the special group. And then we have a little formula. If we take the percentage, 80%, put it over 100 and multiply it by the total group, that will give us the special group. So in this case, I'm going to rewrite the formula up here. Okay, we know that our percentage, we're trying to find the percentage you got right. That's 80%, and the total group, the of number, is 25. So I'm going to write 80 over 100 times 25 equals, and instead of calling it is, I put an X in the box that I want to figure out. So I put an X right there. Okay, so this is the formula that we're going to be using, and this is how we use it. The percentage over 100 times the total group equals the special group. Now all we have to do to solve it is do this calculation. And look, we can cancel 25. I'm going to put it over 1 just so it looks cute. 25 into 100, that's 1 and 4, right? And now 80 divided by 4 equals 20. So I can write X equals 20. So that means that our friend got 20 of the problems right, and then we can see, okay, if there's 25 in all, he got 20 right. That means he got 5 wrong. Okay? So we can fill in all that missing information and understand, draw a picture of exactly what happened by doing this calculation. It's kind of cool, you guys. Now, in the other 2 examples, 1 and 3, there's not a story. These problems are so much easier when there's a story. So sometimes I like to make them up, but let's try doing it just as is. What number is 75% of 20? I'm going to write it. Okay, so now we're going to use our of and is ideas. What number is? That's the mystery. There's our percentage of 20. So this is our of number. So now what we can do is fill this in. Percentage, 75 over 100, of 20. So times 20, put it over 1, equals, and then what number? We can use X as our mystery. Make sense? What number is 75% of 20? And to draw our picture, here's our original amount. This is the of side, right? And this is the special group side. We have two special groups. One is 75%, and the other is going to be, we can figure that out, 25%. We want to know what number is 75%. There's our calculation. 20 goes into 100 5 times. 5 into 75, let's just do it this way, so you can follow along. 5 into 7 once, and 5 into 25, 15. So that means X equals 15. And if there's 20 in all, and our special group has 15, then the other special group has 5. We don't know anything about the story here, what's being divided up. We could make one up, but we can do it with just the plain numbers too. Again, John's introducing you to an idea that we're going to spend a lot of time on next year. So if it's making you want to cry, please don't. Please don't. Okay, find 6% of 12. Find 6% of 12. Okay, there's our percentage. There's our of number. So we go 6 over 100, I'm using this, times the of number, 12, we'll put that over 1, equals X, we can say. Okay, now let's see. We could simplify this, right? Because these are both even numbers. We could go, there's a lot of ways we could tackle this. John changes it to a decimal number. Let's just do that. You wouldn't necessarily know to do this. 6 times 12 is 72 over 100, which equals 0.72. John tells us that this is money, so that's a hint to us that we want our answer to be in a decimal form. So when I saw the 100 on the bottom, I thought, oh, that's going to be really easy to write in decimal format if I just leave it as is and don't cancel anything. If you canceled this and came up with a fraction, that wouldn't be wrong, but because we see that it's money here, that's a big hint to us that we want our answer to be in a decimal format. And we can draw a picture. This is our $12, and then we're dividing it into two special groups. I'm not going to try and make the line proportional because 6% would only be a tiny bit. This would be 72 cents. That represents 6%. And then, wow, the rest would be what? $11.28. I'm just subtracting. That would be 94%. Okay? So if we found $12 lying on the street and you told me that I got 6% of it, you'd give me 72 cents and you'd keep that much for yourself. Which, I mean, you know, you found it. So that's fair. Okay, so that is just a sample. And I'm going to tell you, these are called fractional or percent parts of a problem, or percent parts of a number. Next year, I'll tell you the story about what I call this kind of problem and why. All right, this is your formula. Draw your diagrams. It will help you understand the numbers. Look for these key words in the problems and break it down. Okay, goodbye.